Hey friend, so how do you create a balanced mix when it comes to your song? I believe a really balanced mix and a great mix is where you can hear all the different instruments clearly in the mix. They all have their own space within the mix and they kind of sit within that space really well, and it creates a cohesive whole for your song. In this video, I want to show you specifically how I use panning in my mixes before I add in any other effects to really help each instrument sit within its own place and sound really great. Let's jump in. Hey, before we get started, I wanted to let you know that I am opening up a few spaces for music production coaching. If this is something you are interested in, I offer coaching in recording, songwriting, mixing, and mastering. So if this is something that you're interested in, just click the link in the description below. It'll take you to a form where you can fill out to see if it's a good fit. All right, so I want to show you first how I approach panning when it comes to the whole mix. I want to let you listen to a mix that I've been working on with a friend of mine. It's kind of a reggae song, and first we're going to do is listen to the whole mix with all of the instruments in, kind of going back and forth between stereo and mono to give you a contrast of what it sounds like between the two of them. So let's listen to the song now. The whole song in stereo and the whole song just in mono. And by the way, in Studio One, it makes it really easy to go back and forth. Over here on the main outs, you can just click this little circle button and it goes from mono to stereo like that. And I also just want to say that there's no effects on any of these tracks, so these are just the straight tracks, so you can really hear what the panning does. Okay, so this is in stereo.
His name is John. They kneel in awe.
Okay, let's listen now in mono.
His name is John.
Okay, so did you hear the difference, how it went from kind of big and wide and open to kind of straight down the middle, and you couldn't hear as the instruments as clearly when it was just in mono. Okay, now we are going to hear the guitar parts so you can hear them both from a stereo standpoint and a mono standpoint. This is the drums. I like to pan the drums how you would actually have a real drum set. So the hats are panned to the left because the hi-hats are on the left. The ride cymbal is panned to the right. The left rack is panned to the left. The right rack is panned that way to the right. And then the tambourine I kind of have panned to the right a little bit, the shaker. And then the timbales are panned opposite of that. So they are going to be panned to the left, kind of just to give it a little bit of a balance between the tambourines and the shakers. So let's give it a listen. This is a little drum solo section of the song. Let's start out first with stereo. All right, let's go to mono now. Back to stereo. Really cool. I mean, you can instantly hear again that it creates so much more space in the mix when you do the stereo spread like that. Okay, lastly, let's check out the vocal parts, both stereo and mono. Next is the vocals. So the way I have the vocals panned is you have the background vocals panned opposite. So there's two voices doing the background vocals. So they're panned kind of right and left. And then you have the main vocal, which is straight up the middle. There's no panning on that at all. So let's give a listen to the chorus section.
His name is John.
So you can kind of hear this is stereo.
They kneel in awe.
Now let's go back to mono so you can hear the difference.
His name is John.
So again, it just gives more space to the mix. I love that. And it's just really cool because now you don't have to add in all these effects. You can instantly get a better mix just by applying panning. So I love how simple this technique is, and it's like it just creates from the start a balanced mix from which you can then go and add all your effects on, which is like icing on the cake. But this really helps to balance out all of my mixes by adding panning. Again, if you are interested in music production coaching, I encourage you to click the link and fill out the form below, and I'll see you on the next video.